morning. It's already time to start our webinar for potential applicants of the second call for proposals of Interreg Lithuania-Poland Cooperation Program. I'm Sigita Baronaitė, team leader of the Lithuania-Poland program. Me and my team, in total we are 9 people, will present you shortly main requirements and framework of the program. To say some words, I would like to invite Laimonas Gailius, representative of our managing authority, to say some words for participants.
Thank you, Sigita. Good morning, everybody. Labas rytas, dzień dobry. I'm very happy to see a lot of participants interested in our second call for proposals and the Lithuanian-Polish cooperation program. With most of you, we've probably met almost a year ago in Suwałki, face-to-face for the first call of proposals. And well, today we have a really sunny day here in Vilnius after a very long time ago, and I take this as a good sign, as a good omen that maybe this second call of proposals will be really good with a lot of interesting ideas. So I encourage you to use this event today. Listen carefully to my colleagues from Joint Secretariat. They're really professionals on their field, and listen to what they got to say, to their advices, and share your ideas. Use the opportunity to ask questions, and yeah, and I wish all of you a really useful event. I hope it will be useful, and we're waiting for your applications. Good luck.
Thank you, Laimonas. We already have several applications, so it's also a good sign that people are familiar with the program. It's already second call, so we expect more. So overall objective of the program is to improve well-being of cross-border communities. So on the Lithuanian-Poland border area. Well, how we do it? Cross-border cooperation is a main aspect of these projects, so please be careful while writing the applications. And cross-border cooperation shall be a main, let's say, element in your application. As you might know, the program was smaller a year ago. Now it increased more than 2 times, and the total budget is more than 100 million euro. And ERDF, which is 80% of the total budget, amounts almost to 100 million euro. If you were applicants or beneficiaries of the previous programs, some changes are new in this program. You have to submit the applications via new joint electronic monitoring system. Shortly, we call them GEMS. There are also simplified cost options when planning the budget. And in this call, you will, my colleagues will explain you differences between 2 budget options. And the program also offers preparation costs for all projects involved. Program territory is quite big. After increase, we have 2 additional Polish subregions. So there are 5 counties from Lithuania. Alytus, Kaunas, Marijampolė, Tauragė, and Vilnius, but Vilnius city is not included. It's not program territory. And from Poland, we have 5 subregions: Elskis, Suwałki, Helstocki, Łomżyński, and Olsztyński. So welcome to the program. We hope that we also have participants from new subregions, Łomżyński and Olsztyński. Program is managed by program bodies. Main decision-making body is monitoring committee. It takes decision for grant award for the projects. Managing authority is the main contracting party of the subsidy contracts, and also takes care of the implementation of the program on a daily basis, together with national authority from Poland. In Lithuania, managing authority is Ministry of the Interior of the Republic of Lithuania, and in Poland, national authority is Territorial Cooperation Department of the Ministry of Development Funds and Regional Policy of the Republic of Poland. We also have audit authority, which is tasks are carried out by Centralized Internal Audit Department of the Ministry of the Interior of the Republic of Lithuania. All these bodies are supported by Joint Secretariat, which is based in Vilnius, and now we have 9 employees. We also are supported by regional contact points, shortly called RCPs, in Poland, and they are based in Białystok and Olsztyn. So Polish applicants feel free to contact them, to come for consultations and to call. They are always here to answer your questions. All costs of partners are also verified by controller. Program is divided into 4 priorities and 7 specific objectives. But for this call for proposals for small projects, there are 3 priorities and 5 specific objectives. The first one is the specific objective on preservation of nature, biodiversity, and green infrastructure. The second is priority, which is divided into 2 specific objectives. Priority is called promoting physical, emotional, and cultural well-being. And the first specific objective is aimed at ensuring equal access to healthcare and fostering resilience of health systems, including primary care, and promoting the transition from institutional to family and community-based care. As we call it, health priority or health specific objective. The second is how we call it, tourism and culture. So it's more aimed at enhancing the role of culture and sustainable tourism and economic development and social inclusion and social innovation. So all these words are very crucial while thinking about the project. The last priority is strengthening cooperation of local, regional, national stakeholders, and specific objective P1 is Interreg specific objective 6.3. It's aimed at building up mutual trust, in particular by encouraging people-to-people action. The specific objective 3.2 is Interreg specific objective 6.6. There are other actions to support better cooperation governance. All these actions, all these priorities are described in the program manual, and there are examples of activities that may be implemented under each priority. So please refer to the part 2.1 of the program manual, which can be found on our homepage under the menu applications and second call for proposals. This list of activities is not final, so it's just how to say for understanding what can be carried out, what can be implemented. You can also read program document, which is also on the program website. There are listed main project requirements, and they are also described in details in program manual. There are EU regulations and program rules to be followed. There are horizontal principles, which also should be described in the applications. They are not formal, so please take a little bit time to describe more clearly how you will follow them. All this information, as I mentioned, is in the program document, so also please read it before writing your justification. The partnership in the project is a crucial element, so you need to really find trustful partners to implement activities, and this cooperation is really needed for achievement of your outputs and results. So you have to justify why you cannot achieve something without this partnership alone in your town or city or country. Budget planning, as I already told, will be explained after break. So the main issue you have to plan is total eligible costs 100%, and co-financing of the program will be 80%. Grants will be paid out in form of reimbursement, so no advance payments are possible. Application and assessment process is also described in the program manual. So you have to prepare and submit application, which will be also explained later. And assessment criteria, which will be used for assessing your applications, are also listed in the program manual. My colleagues will explain your project idea and life cycle, but I want to just stress out that joint need doesn't mean that it's the same as common need. You have to really think about joint problem which you want to solve during the project, and your results should be also visible for both sides. There are some sections also used to describe strategies and policies. Also, if you have done something similar before, please refer to your previous experience. And if you think that your project has more innovation aspect than before used practices, also please describe it very clearly, because innovation is a good thing in the region. You also have to think about durability of your results and describe it clearly in the project application, because they have to be followed after the end of the project. There are visibility and publicity requirements which have to be followed. My colleagues will talk about them later on, and they are also described in the program manual. So that was everything from my side, and I also wanted to tell you that we moved from Europa to Šventaragių Street, the old town. We are now in the building with managing authority on the with the view to Gediminas Tower and Cathedral. So if you are in Vilnius, you can visit us, just call us before. Thank you. And I would like to present Birutė Fetingytė, my colleague, to present the general requirements for the second call for proposals.
Okay, thank you, Sigita, very much. I would like to present you some general info about second call for proposals. As Sigita already gave you information about the program as a whole, I would like to focus on the second call for proposals. I believe that everyone who is here in our webinar already are acquainted with the general requirements, but as I used to say that repetitia est mater studiorum, so it would be good to know one more time what is the main things of the second call for proposals. So you know that guidance note could be found on internet, on our Lietuva Polska website. And here you can find all terms and conditions specifically to the second call for proposals. You can find program manual, all the description of results which have to be in your application. So all the information you will find here. This is my presentation, very brief, about call duration. I will tell the total budget for the call, applicable priorities, type of a project, project size and duration, and co-financing rate. Oops, sorry, it is running somewhere. So you know already that the call started on 9th of January this month and will end on the last day of February. So please not be so in a hurry, but not also wait for the last day to submit the application. The total call budget is 5 million euros. This I would like to admit that it is FDF. So this is the amount which should be given to the projects from RDF fund. Applicable priorities are 3 program priorities, which already Sigita told about them. For this second call for proposal, type of the project is small project. As you remember, somebody maybe remember that first call was for the regular projects. So this call for proposals is devoted to small projects. What does it mean, small? I will tell you in some minutes. Otherwise, it is necessary to know about the second call for proposals. Also, it is like in the first call for proposals for regular projects. So reimbursement is based on payments. So you firstly make and then you receive part reimbursed for your expenditures. Applications also are via no paper, just via joint electronic monitoring system submitted, and specific objectives there are which are applicable for the second call for proposals. But in general, you should know that for each priority, which I meant and Sigita mentioned before, that there are for each priority there are several output and result indicators, and the description of all indicators is included in the Annex 1 to the program, program manual for the second call for proposals. More about indicators will tell later my colleague. Yes, so the indicative ERDF amount for the second call for proposals, this which I mentioned already, 5 million euro. How you can see now how it is divided among all 3 priorities. So the biggest is for strengthening cooperation of local stakeholders, and almost equal for the first and for the second priority. All this information you can find on internet easily and in program manual. So small projects. So total budget for this, why are they called small projects? So the minimum project budget should be 20,000 euros and the maximum 160,000 euros. RDF is up to 80% RDF co-financing. So that means that minimum 20% are partner contribution. And as I mentioned before, that it is reimbursement made on payments, based on payments made. So you, when planning your project, you should think if you have the amount in your institution to start the activities, and only then after first report, you will receive reimbursement in amount of 80%. Duration of small projects is up to 12 months. So it is not so big, but also you will have time to implement good activities, joint activities for the cross-border region. And partners, at least 2, as Sigita already mentioned, 1 from Lithuania, 1 from Poland, and not more than 4. So for the small project, we believe that it is quite enough to do good activities, implement good ideas. And more about partners will tell you my colleague Dmitry. So, Dmitry, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. My name is Dmitry Sharko. I am a project manager of the Joint Secretariat, and our next presentation will be about the program requirements for eligible partners and partnership for the second call for proposal for small projects. This presentation is very important as selection of partners, your selection of partners, will affect the results of evaluation of the projects and project selection and further implementation of the project. So our projects are partnership and cooperation projects. They require good, strong, and successful partnership. The partners shall have shared needs and common interests, strong commitment to participate in the project, trust to each other, adequate administrative and financial resources. As my colleagues already mentioned, I would like once again to remind that the partners cover all expenditure in the project by own funds and only receive reimbursement of part of the costs after approval of 6 monthly reports. How to ensure good partnership? It is necessary to get to know each other, to find common needs, interests, and ideas. Also, to communicate to each other, not only during preparation of the application form, but also during project implementation. Please make all decisions jointly with your partners. It is necessary to know the contents of your project and the rules of the program. Partners shall meet mutual obligations and show initiative. So, which organizations participate in the project? So, first of all, these are project partners. These are organizations who directly participate in preparation and implementation of the project. They are financially involved in the project and fulfill all obligations. Lead partner is selected from the project partners in each project. The lead partner takes full responsibility for implementation of the entire project. Lead partner is a link, a contact point with the program body and bodies and communicates with the Joint Secretariat. Lead partner is in charge of application procedure. It coordinates the project. It is responsible for reporting, for project achievements, for the financial management, and for many other things. So these organizations are the project partnership. And also in the project, they can participate associated organizations. They do not comply with the eligibility requirements for the partners, or they don't want to be financially involved, but still they want to take part in the project activities. So which organizations what are the requirements for eligibility of the partnership? The next slide. So as my colleagues already told, in each project there shall be at least one Lithuanian and at least one Polish partner, and they shall be legal persons. In the project should involve at least 2 partners, but no more than 4 partners. As an exception, there can be only one partner in case the European grouping of territorial cooperation is a sole applicant. Polish budgetary units are also eligible, but they shall confirm their status. Organizations from the European Union but registered outside of the program area can also apply as lead partner or as a project partner, but they shall prove that they bring clear benefits to the program and to its overall objective. What are the requirements for eligibility of each individual partner? So eligible partners can be local, regional, and national authorities, public bodies and bodies governed by public law, associations, NGOs, European grouping of territorial cooperation, small and medium enterprises, but only as partner in priority 2, specific objective 2.2, related to culture and sustainable tourism. So bodies governed by public law shall correspond to all the requirements to such organizations. They shall be legal person established for the specific purpose of meeting needs of general interest, not having the industrial or commercial character, either financed for the most part by the state or controlled or managed for the most part by the authorities or other bodies governed by public law. But in addition, project activities of the bodies governed by public law shall be only related to performance of public functions. And bodies governed by public law from Poland shall confirm their eligible status by provision of the corresponding documents. Small and medium enterprises and their role related to participation in the program and in the projects. Small and medium enterprises can be only project partners and only in applications which are submitted for priority 2 specific objective 2.2. They cannot be lead partners. Small, medium, and medium enterprises shall be established at least 3 full calendar years before the announcement of the call for proposals. In order to participate in the project, they shall provide the same document as other partners, but additionally, they fill in and submit the statement by SME project partner, which is Annex 8. Participation in the project of small and medium enterprises shall be for the needs of general interest and for public benefit. It shall be justified, it shall be necessary for the project, and it shall bring clear added value. And small and medium enterprises participating in projects should have sound financial standing, full legal capacity, and the activity shall correspond to the current legislation. I would like to draw your attention that small and medium enterprises cannot join partnership if their main activity or if their main role in the project relates to project consulting or other project development and implementation services. So this was the slide for the SMEs. Also, in the program manual, in section 2.3.2, there is a table which describes the examples of eligible partners. I kindly ask you to read it by yourself, and you will be able to find the organization and your specific case there. Each project must meet at least 3 mandatory criteria, and these criteria are joint development, joint implementation, or joint financing, out of total 4 cooperation criteria. So the criterion joint staffing is not obligatory. And also, I would like to tell about the rules of participation of associated organizations in the project. Associated organizations, they do not share the project budget, but they dedicate their own resources to the project. They participate in the project activities, and if needed, they can provide guidance and other assistance to other project partners. The specific features of their cooperation are the following. Associated organizations cannot be subcontracted by the project partners. However, another project partner can cover travel and accommodation expenditure of the associated organization if it is necessary for the project and if it complies with the state aid rules. And these costs shall be included in the application form. Associated organizations must not generate any revenues from the project implementation or from its outcomes. Associated organizations act as a supporter of the project. They increase durability and transfer achievements. They are end users takers or final beneficiaries of the project achievements. And in order to participate in the project, they must fill in and submit only the statement by associated organization. And for more detail and further information, I kindly ask you to read Program Manual sections 2.3.1, 2.3.2, 2.3.3, and 3.2.2. And I would like to invite my colleague, Project Manager Jurgita Rasinskina, to tell about project intervention logic. So please, Jurgita. Thank you very much for your attention.
Good morning to everybody. I'm very happy that I could introduce you another topic, program and project intervention logic. Why it's important and why I'm saying what I'm happy, because it's kind of very creative part of project when you start to prepare. And also it's very important during assessment and also during this time when you create your project, when you write, when you talk to your partners. So I would like to start this first slide with paraphrasing what said by President John Kennedy during his inauguration speech, when he said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." So before starting project, ask yourself how my project could contribute to program and improve well-being of cross-border communities. Why it's important to have such questions, which kind of sometimes we say silly because we know what we want to do. But the thing is that it's quite often what we see that projects are not, they don't need cross-border cooperation. They could be successfully implemented on national or even local scale. So why it's important to have these not not comfortable questions sometimes, just because your project is not like a single separated planet in cosmos. Your project is part of Lithuania Poland program. Lithuania Poland program is part of Interreg programs family, and this is part of RDF. So it's kind of big mechanism, and in order it could move, we need to contribute to each other objectives. So when you ask these questions and you see that it's still you can do something for program, for people living in the region, so then you start project preparation. So my colleagues already mentioned some aspects, what need to be done. I would call it homework before project. Not to start with project like we know what we want to do, we write what our, like we need to renovate something, to create a stadium or whatever, but to think in a broader sense. So to look where our problem or challenge is in the context of national, regional policy, to look how our idea can be fitted to this all, let's say, policies, national, EU level. So you know that you need also to be in line with European Union strategies for the Baltic Sea region. You need to go in line with the European Green Deal. Also, there are new concept of new European Bauhaus. So quite often these things also like horizontal principles are neglected, omitted, because it's just like, oh, we know what we want to do, and this is kind of additional things which we need like formality. But actually it's not like this. Because if your project is in line with, let's say, national strategy, so there is big chance that you will go together with mainstream and your project results can be achieved more efficient. Let's say example of waste management, right? So now we have requirement to have new waste management, food collection requirement, and projects which apply for this, so they know already, but there are a lot of interested groups, and project could be implemented very successfully because everybody is interested to have it as good as it possible. So our suggestion, don't omit this part, think about it. So here we start with terminology, project terminology, which is kind of maybe not so attractive because as we see also quite often mixed objectives, results, outputs. So I would like to start with one example. I will use two examples, one with medical institution, another with already mentioned waste management. So let's say we have project overall objective. So yeah, so this is something we're achieving in long term. It's very ambitious, very like our dream. So let's say, but we say every patient has immediate access to all medical services, which is kind of, we understand that it's very nice, very ambitious, but little realistic, but it's our way. Then we have project specific objective. So this is already something, is more concrete, more specific, and it could be achieved, let's say, during project, let's say, period. So for example, we have specific objective to reduce waiting time for cataract surgery in region X by 30 days. So we have very specific. We want more cataract surgery. So when we have specific objective, so we go to project results. So project result is something change of situation. Is not so big as ambitious as long term, but still is something like changing situation, right? So as an example, for this cataract project, which is actually one of real projects implemented in our GTS. So project result, let's say 100 patients receiving cataract surgery within 1 month. So when we go down, project main output could be opened premises and operation room for cataract surgery, which is kind of one of indicators for our program, renovated or equipped medical institution. Then we go to project work package, which can include related activities. During this call, it's only one project work package, so all activities should fit to this work package. And we have project activities, so it could be like purchase of equipment, training of doctors, having joint meetings with partners to improve people registration system, and etc. And project deliverables also could be like piece of equipment, 3 meetings, 20 hours of training of doctors, and etc. So, and when you have clear vision, what you want to achieve, what is really you would like to have result, so then you also kind of, it's easier for you to prepare good project application. And here you see that your project, which was in previous slide, is not a separate planet. It is closely connected to program. It's why a lot of projects say they know what they want to do, but they do not reflect what it can, how it could contribute to program. So you can see, also I will show later table, how it's connected output indicators, result indicators. So you see, if your project result is connected to program result indicator, right? So you have 100 person having cataract operation within 1 month, let's say. So it's also program result indicator, how many patients can have new medical services. So it's very important to see that you are part of program and also to to reflect this in your application when you write it, right? And then for reporting also, you need to have these things. So these are indicators. And when I go through frequently made mistakes, so I would comment something also. But here is table, and these indicators are very in detail described in Annex 1. Please mark yourselves, Annex 1. And these are, it's important because it's very clear description of indicators. Who participated in previous program periods? So you invented your indicator and you wrote it as you wanted. Now there is standardized indicators for all programs. So you need to have to use the standardized system. So all these indicators and description and how it's calculated, you could find that in mentioned annex, but I put some words in bold just to reflect how these things were misunderstood during first call of proposals, and just for you not to repeat the same mistakes. So when we talk about organizations cooperating across border, so we take only partners. We do not include here like 20 kindergartens or 3 hospitals additionals, which are not partners. So we calculate only project partners. Then we talk organizations cooperating after project completion. So we talk about organizations which took part in project, but it could be less partners. For example, one partner did their mission in project and they are not cooperating further, but it's okay. But also remember that you need to write formalized agreement to cooperate. And also it's important to know that you don't need to cooperate in exactly the same topic as you implemented your projects. So that is good. Another joint developed solution is probably one of most popular indicator. So it's also sometimes is misunderstood because like solution, everybody will understand what is solution, like this word, but it's important to know that jointly developed solution implies the involvement of organizations from at least 2 participating countries in the drafting and design process of the solution. So it's not like Lithuanians prepare one solution for their problem, Polish partners prepare solution for their problem, and then indicating 2 solutions. No, it's kind of all partners both countries need to be involved. When we talk solutions about taken up or upscaled, which is result indicator, so it could be like you created something, right? You discussed, you involved maybe university, you involve local partners, but this solution could have real life. It need to be somehow to have this green lines to say like, okay, we are implementing. So it could be, let's say, administration of municipality would approve that solution in a form which is kind of more is good for municipality, and then it's set like all hospitals apply this solution, or all polyclinics apply this solution, or all kindergartens, and then the solution become kind of has different life, and then we create result, right? We create difference, change of situation. I would not comment about this capacity of new modernized healthcare facilities, kind of is easy, also number of cultural tourism sites supported, but I would like to stop for 1 minute in joint actions. So it's also important what is joint action. So joint action is considered as the action organized with the involvement of organizations from at least 2 participating countries. Participating in public events organized in project, it's not counted as this indicator. So it should be also, it's not like that we do river cleaning campaign and then we have guests from another country, from another partner, and we call it joint action. No, actually it should be involved both partners in planning and in process. Public events. Also, it's very important to understand that joint public event is something when you advertise about this event in general public of the area covered by program. So like kind of general public need to know about this event. It's not closing conference where we have 30 persons, but it's something probably bigger, or it could be also not so big in number of participants, but it could be like, let's say, training for parents of autistic children. So, and then you make advertisement in social department of municipality, of some kindergarten, in school. So it's also public event. And joint training schemes. So it's something also kind of was misunderstood, unfortunately. So it's very important to emphasize that it's joint training scheme implies involvement of organizations from at least 2 participating countries. And joint training scheme requires building knowledge in a certain topic. It involves training over several sessions. So it's not like we train 5 social workers how they need to tell people about some social problem. So then when we train 10 doctors how to treat that kind of condition, and then we provide information to municipality social service department. No, people need to be trained on some topic, like they have at least 2 sessions. So this is very important. Okay, so then we go a small example, yeah, because I'm running out of time. Here also example about increased food waste collection. So specific objective, it could be like you want to increase food waste collection by 5% in X and Y municipalities. And then your activities, your work package, your work plan shall contribute to the specific objective. So you create, let's say, analyze, you have meetings with people responsible, you inform them, then you create some documentation how you do it, discuss with responsible people, you buy some containers, and then it's kind of created a solution for waste, food waste collection. And its distribution for program-specific objective is clear. So also read carefully what your project priority specific objective aims before also formulating your project specific objective. And here, like very shortly, so one specific objective, one work package. One delivery per activity, at least should be chosen one program, output indicator, one result indicator. Very important, one communication objective. And communication measures, my colleague would tell more, but it should be not listed as standalone activities, but integrated in other activities. And actually work plan is very important, and so we put you an example, but please don't take it as like in stone written, because it's just hypothetical example, but just for you it would be easier to understand what is work plan. And actually all these general things kind of sometimes you can like even copy from strategies, but in this case you need to be very specific. What you do, your activities and deliverables, like workshops, duration 1 day, 120 persons. Deliverable 2, working meeting. Deliverable 3, strategy, right? Deliverable 4, smart waste containers purchased. And also you choose output, and remember, if you have some investment, it needs to be described also in application. It's not like that you can submit attach some PDF of description of investment or some equipment, but you need to also describe it in application. And the last, frequently made mistakes. So problem or challenge, too global or too narrow, right? So think about area you work. Important to really show change of situation, even it's small change, but it need be possible to measure. Like in waste management, you can measure kilograms or tons of segregated collected waste. In medical project, you can calculate patients. Important, but everything what you do would be connected. So if you have some investment, like you buy some equipment, so you need to ensure that this equipment would be used during project. Indicators, I said, please read this annex and analyze, because we really quite frequently made mistakes about this. And novelty, as my colleague said, we like novelty in the region. And about communication measures, my colleague would tell later. So I giving now floor to my colleague Valeria Makhnorilova, who would tell a few words about communication. Thank you.
Thank you, Jurgit. Hello, everyone. Let's talk shortly about communication and publicity, and then we go for a short break. I'll have just a few slides, but I would really like to ask you to pay attention to the communication part of your application, because communication is crucial in achieving your project results in general, and it is also evaluated during the assessment process. Just a few slides, but please pay attention. So when we're talking about communication in general, we should remember a few important things. And most importantly, today my colleagues also mentioned the importance of target groups several times. So we need to remember all the time the target groups, the groups for which we are doing this project, for which we are achieving results, and the best ways to reach those target groups. So that's the main thing for us in communication of the projects. Also, we need to inform society about the project results and the benefits. So we are thinking about the final user of whatever we are trying to solve, to achieve with our project. Okay, let's have an example. For example, you have a project in medical field. Maybe you are planning to make some medical service more accessible to vulnerable groups. So we need to think about those vulnerable groups. We need to think about the best way to tell and to present those target groups what you are doing, what you did, how they can benefit, how they can use the service, how they can register, and so on. Then, of course, we need to highlight the contribution of the European Union to the project. So the EU supports the project, and it has to be visible. So whatever you do in the project, you need to remember to highlight this contribution. This will also help us to ensure transparent use of the EU funds. And those 3 points, we are talking about external communication. And also my colleagues mentioned before, like in partnership eligibility. So please also remember that there is internal communication. Please constantly communicate among partners, among colleagues, to ensure smooth operation of the project. The main question that you should be asking yourself when planning communication in your project is how communication will help you achieve your project results. And as you already know, you have just one work package, and in that work package, you should have at least one communication objective. And again, related target audience. It could be more, but at least one there should be. In most cases, like Jurgita already mentioned, the communication activities will be smaller steps in the activity description in your work package. Let's say you are planning to create some joint tourism route. So we will be having different activities in order to make this route available. And then under this activity, you might want, for example, to have some Facebook posts about your created route. You might have a plan to create a video to promote the route. to make some public event and so on. So those would be smaller steps in the activity description in your work package. And in some cases, in some really specific cases, when communication would be a really thematic, important focus in your project, in such cases, you might have it as a separate activity. Here we're talking more like about huge public awareness campaigns. So that is communication, and that could be big enough to be a separate activity in your work package. I mentioned assessment in the very beginning, so it is really assessed and evaluated how you are trying to reach your target groups. And this is the assessment criteria for you to remember. So when your application is being assessed, assessors evaluate whether your communication objectives are relevant and contribute to your project-specific objective. They also evaluate whether you explain communication activities clearly and whether those communication activities are appropriate to reach your relevant target groups and stakeholders and to achieve those objectives. So please have it in mind when you are planning the project. Now let's shortly talk about minimum requirements. So in everything that you do, pretty much in your project, you need to use the statement highlighting the support. It means mainly that you should use the program logo. You see the program logo on every slide of our presentations today. So this is the logo that should appear on all your documents, all your publications, and on everything really what you do. Then you will have to include information about the project on websites and social media accounts of all partners involved. In case you are planning to purchase equipment, you will need to have a durable plaque or billboard in your project. And in case you don't fall under this requirement, all the other partners, all the other projects need to create a poster or electronic display at partner's location for the duration of the project. We also have some additional obligations from partners from Poland. Mainly, it's about information boards, some specific information boards. We have information link in our program manual. So we will find all the information there. And please don't forget that you might need some, physical EU flags, stickers for equipment, and so on, because we are highlighting the support of the EU, and that's important. And very important thing is, please don't remember that these minimum requirements are really not enough when we are talking about communication. So also from experience from the first call, assessing applications, please remember, these are just general minimum requirements, but as we talked before, you need to remember about your target groups. You need to think of the best possible ways to reach your specific target groups, and you need to plan specific communication activities to do that. And we will talk about all these more, of course, during already implementation and then stage. But what I wanted to say with this previous slide is that you really need now to plan necessary resources. So you will need people who will do it. You will need budget. So that's very important already now during planning the project, writing the project. And we are recommending to allocate at least 2% of the total project budget to communication activities in your project. And again, it's at least, not maximum. So that's at least what we are encouraging you to plan. But again, you need to see your specific project and what's the best way for you to do it. As I promised, that was short from my side. So thank you for your attention. Please follow us on social media to be updated about the program. Please subscribe our program newsletter if you haven't done already. And in general, please be active communication-wise. And now we all go to a 10 minutes break, after which we will start with the budget. Thank you and see you in 10 minutes.